Cress's satellite made a full orbit around planet Earth every 16 hours. It was a prison that came with an endlessly breathtaking view. When she was first imprisoned as a little girl, she would pretend she was in a pod ship en route to the blue planet. Soon she would land and step out onto real dirt, feel real sunshine, smell real oxygen. Her view of Luna, however, was to be avoided. Sometimes her satellite passed so close that she could see the glittering domes and sparkling cities where Lunars lived, where she too had lived years ago, before she had been banished. But right now, Cress paid no attention. The net was littered with horrors of the attacks on Earth.
It's my fault.
For months, she had been cloaking lunar ships from Earthen detection, doing Mistress Sybil's bidding without question. Now she knew what kind of monsters had been aboard them.
What am I going to do?
Please clarify your instructions, big sister.
Cress had programmed the machine herself. The voice was hers, from when she was 10, and it was often her only companion in the satellite.
I understand Emperor Kai is only trying to stop a war, but he must know this won't stop Her Majesty. She's going to kill him if he goes through with this, and then where will Earth be?
Big sister?
Yes, little Cress?
Mistress's ship detected. Arrival expected in 22 seconds.
Her movements were a well-practiced, choreographed dance as she opened Lunar Crown propaganda on her screen and closed Earthen news feeds.
Mistress has arrived. She is requesting an extension of the docking camp.
Of course.
There was still a part of Cress that hoped Mistress would warm to her and tell her she had finally earned enough trust to be welcomed back on Luna. Sybil's coldness, however, came as no surprise.
Good day, Mistress.
So you found her, have you?
Found her, Mistress?
If it is a good day, then you must have finally completed the simple task I've given you. Is that it, Crescent? Have you found the cyborg?
No, Mistress. I haven't found her.
I see. So it isn't a good day after all, is it?
I only meant... I read the news. I thought perhaps we were pleased about Her Majesty's engagement.
We will be satisfied once Earth is under lunar control. Until then, there is work to be done, and you should not be wasting your time reading news and gossip. I certainly hope you found something.
Cinder was spotted in the European Federation at a small town in southern France.
I'm well aware of that. And then she went to Paris, killed a thaumaturge, and some useless special operatives. Anything else, Crescent?
In Rio, France, a clerk at a ship and vehicle parts store updated the store inventory, removing one power cell that could be compatible with the ship she stole, but not notating any payment. I thought perhaps she glamored...
Cress stopped. Mistress liked to keep the pretense that Cinder was a shell, like Cress, though they both knew it was not true of the cyborg.
A power cell.
It converts compressed hydrogen into...
I know what it is. You're telling me that the only progress you've made is finding evidence that she's making repairs to her ship? That it's going to become even more difficult to track her down? A task that you couldn't even manage when they were on Earth.
I'm sorry, Mistress. I'm trying. It's just...
I'm not interested in your excuses. All these years, I've persuaded Her Majesty to let you live, under the pretense that you had something valuable to offer. Something even more valuable than blood. Was I wrong to protect you, Crescent?
I'm sorry, Mistress. I'll try harder.
I'll be very displeased if you don't find me that girl. And soon.
Yes, Mistress.
Wolf pushed himself off the crate, hurtling towards Cinder. She braced herself against the instinctive panic. The anticipation of one more hit tightened every muscle, despite the fact that he was still going easy on her. She squeezed her eyes shut moments before impact and focused. Pain shot through her head like a chisel in her brain, but the impact didn't come.
Stop closing your eyes.
Jaw still clenched, she forced one eye open to see Wolf before her, body still as stone, because she was holding him there.
It's easier to have them closed.
A thump between her shoulder blades sent her tumbling forward.
It also makes it easier for people to sneak up on you.
This isn't game time.
Thorne is right. When you close your eyes, it makes you vulnerable. You have to learn to use the gift while still being aware of your surroundings, while still being active within them.
Active?
Yes, active. We could be facing dozens of soldiers at a time. With any luck, you'll be able to control 9 or 10, but you'll still be vulnerable to countless more. You should be able to control me while still being fully present, both mentally and physically. If even Thorne can sneak up on you, we're in trouble.
Never underestimate the stealth of a criminal mastermind.
Criminal mastermind? We've been trying to figure out how to infiltrate the royal wedding for the past week, and so far your biggest contribution has been determining which of the palace rooftops is most spacious so your precious ship doesn't get scratched on landing.
As the ship in question, I fully agree with Captain Thorne's priorities.
Well said, gorgeous. And I would like the rest of you to note Aiko's proper use of captain when addressing me. You could all stand to learn a thing or two from her.
Let's go again.
Maybe you should take a break.
I won't get a break when I'm being chased down by the Queen's soldiers, will I?
Let's hope you never have to face off against the Queen's real soldiers. I think we stand a chance going up against her thaumaturges and special operatives. But the advanced soldiers are different. More like animals than humans. And they don't react well to brain manipulation.
Because so many people do.
I mean that they're unpredictable, even under the control of a thaumaturge or any lunar. The genetic tampering they undergo affects their brains as much as their bodies. They're sporadic, wild, dangerous.
He does realize that he's an ex-Street Fighter who still goes by Wolf, right?
All the more reason for me to be as prepared as possible.
Mr. Sybil's ship has detached from the dock. Shall we play a game?
Maybe later. We'd better check the files first. Displayed compiled folders. Ling Cinder, Rampion, and Carlswell Thorne.
Cress had found the Rampion first, but she knew she had to protect them. She had scrambled every signal, made them impossible to track. Like magic, it had vanished into space.
There are more conspiracy theories, sister.
Not again. They're so silly.
Which ones?
All of them.
Though to Cress, the ones about Captain Thorne were the most foolish. Mistress had asked her to study him to find out all she could. At first she had been disgusted with him, but strange anomalies popped up, revealing his true character. Age 8. Spent 4 days in a panic because he released a tiger from the zoo because it had looked sad. Age 11. Sold a family heirloom to donate funds to charity. Age 13. Got into a fight trying to return a stolen port screen to a girl. Thorne always had a good reason for what he did. He was exactly the kind of hero she had been dreaming about her entire life. From then on, she dreamed of passionate kisses and daring escapades. She knew if he ever met her, he would feel the same way, because if there was one etching Cress knew about heroes, it was that they could not resist a damsel in distress, and she was nothing if not in distress. Back aboard the Rampion.
Scarlet, tell Cinder she's cheating.
I am not cheating.
You just played back-to-back doubles. You can't do that.
Thorne, I just downloaded the official rulebook into my brain. I know what I can and can't do.
Aha! See? You can't just download stuff in the middle of a game of royals. House rules. You're cheating.
News just broke about the special operatives. America has captured several and is holding them as prisoners of war.
How do they find them?
It turns out Lunars have managed to reprogram a bunch of med droids at plague quarantines. They've been harvesting ID chips from the deceased and implanting them in soldiers. All they had to do was track the missing chips.
Peony. That's why the android wanted her chip from me. You're telling me it would have ended up inside of one of them?
Spoken with true derision for our canine friends.
I'm sorry, Wolf. I don't mean you. Actually, no, I do. Though, anyone. She was my little sister. I mean, how many people have died to have their identities violated like this? No offense.
It's all right. You loved her. I would feel the same way if someone wanted to erase Scarlet's identity and give it to Levana's army.
Did Wolf just say that he loves Scarlet? That's so cute.
He did not. That wasn't... Can't we get back on topic?
Is she blushing? She sounds like she's blushing.
She's blushing. Actually, Wolf is also looking a little flustered.
Focus, please. So they were taking ID chips from plague victims. Now what?
The med droids are being reprogrammed.
It does take care of one threat, at least. I just hope Europe hunts those monsters down, too. I hope they kill them.
I hope they don't think their job is done after this. The real war hasn't begun yet. Earth should be on high alert, preparing for anything.
We should make sure we're ready to stop this wedding and put you on the throne.
I have a suggestion. If we're going to be sneaking into New Beijing Palace while Levana is there, why don't we just assassinate her? Not to be all cold-wired murder about it, but wouldn't that solve a lot of our problems?
It's not that easy. Remember who we're talking about here. She can brainwash hundreds of people at once.
It would take an army to get close enough. She'll have countless guards and thaumaturges with her. Not to mention all the Earthians she could use as shields or weapons themselves.
Including Kai.
You're right. We can't risk that.
No, but we can tell the world that she's a fraud and a monster. We just need to show them that no one is safe once she becomes Empress.
We have received a direct communication request from unknown user, mechanic.
Cinder, accept!
An image formed on her screen. There he was, Carswell Thorne.
Jesus, is that all hair?
Panicked, she ducked out of view of the camera and under the desk.
What? Where'd she go?
Honestly, Thorne, do you ever think before you speak?
What? What did I say?
Things out that hair.
Did you see it? It was like a cross between a magpie nest and a ball of yarn after it's been mauled by a cheetah.
A cheetah?
It was the first big cat that came to mind.
Hello? I know you can hear me. I'm sorry my friend is such a wingnut. You can just ignore him.
That's what we usually do.
We need to talk to you. I'm Cinder, the girl who fixed the android. Are you there?
This is going really well.
Cress steadied herself and climbed out from underneath the desk.
Hi. Sorry to surprise you like that. Do you remember me? We spoke a couple of weeks ago.
Yes, of course. I'm glad you're all right.
Oh. Thanks. I wasn't sure. Do you follow Earthen news? Do you know what's been happening since?
I follow all the news feeds. I knew you were spotted in France, and I've been tracking your ship, so I knew it hadn't been destroyed. But I still didn't know whether you'd been injured or what had happened. And I've been trying to establish the decom link, but you never responded. But I'm glad to see you're all right.
Yes, she's fine, we're fine, everybody's fine. Did you just say you've been tracking our ship?
Yes?
Really? Who do you work for again?
Mistress Sybil. She ordered me to find you, but I haven't told her anything. And I won't. You don't have to worry about that. I've been jamming the radar signals, making sure surveillance satellites are faced the other way when you pass. That sort of thing. So no one else could find you. You must have noticed that you haven't been caught yet?
All this time, we thought Cinder was casting some witchy spells on the other ships, and it's been you?
I guess we owe you a huge thanks. Look, the reason we're contacting you is because we need your help. Evidently, more than I realized.
Yes, whatever you need.
See, why can't you all be this agreeable?
What do you need help with?
When I talked to you before, you told me that you've been spying on Earth's leaders and reporting back to Levana. And you also knew that once Levana became Empress, she planned on having Kai assassinated so she can have total control of the Commonwealth and use that power to launch a full-scale attack on the other Earthen countries. We need the people of Earth to know what lengths Queen Levana will go to in order to stake claim to Earth, not just the Commonwealth. If the other leaders knew she's been spying on them all this time and that she has every intention of invading their countries the first chance she gets, they wouldn't accept her as a world leader. The wedding would be canceled, and with any luck, they would give us a chance to... Well, the ultimate goal is to dethrone her entirely.
So what do you want me to do?
Evidence. I need evidence of what Levana's planning, of what she's been doing.
I have copies of all of the video surveillance from over the years. It would be easy to pull up some of the most incriminating videos and send them to you over this link.
That's perfect.
My mistress will recognize the footage. She'll know it was me who gave it to you.
I'm sorry. If there was any way for us to get you away from her, we would, but we can't risk coming to Luna.
I'm not on Luna. You don't have to come to Luna. I'm not there. I'm on a satellite. I can give you my coordinates. You have a pod ship, right?
You're on a satellite? How long have you been living in a satellite?
7 years or so?
7 years? By yourself?
It's not so bad.
But you're a prisoner.
I prefer damsel in distress.
It's not like we can do anything that will make Levana want to find us more than she already does.
Alright, damsel. Send over those coordinates.
Fate